Not every battle requires an argument, nor does every betrayal deserve an explanation. The wise woman does not announce her departure. She simply walks away. She does not waste words on those who have proven themselves unworthy of her presence. And so she cuts off these 5 types of people, silently, firmly, and without regret. A chronic manipulator is a master of deception, a craftsman of words designed not to build up but to control. They speak in half-truths and veiled accusations, weaving a web that keeps you tangled in doubt and obligation. They do not ask directly, for they know a bold request might be denied. Instead, they press upon your conscience, making you feel selfish for resisting their influence. Their voice is a subtle whisper of guilt, a reminder of everything they claim to have done for you. But make no mistake, every act of kindness they recall is merely a down payment on the control they wish to exert. Their manipulation is not always loud. Sometimes it is the silence that does the work. They withhold affection when you do not comply. They become distant when you begin to see through their games. They punish with absence, knowing full well that the fear of losing them is their greatest weapon. You find yourself explaining, defending, justifying, yet they remain unmoved. For their goal is not understanding, it is dominance. The wise woman recognizes this, and does not waste her breath in self-defense. She knows that truth needs no elaborate explanation. A chronic manipulator thrives on confusion. They will say one thing today and another tomorrow, and if you dare to point out the contradiction, they will claim you misunderstood. They rewrite history to suit their narrative, gaslighting you into questioning your own memory. You begin to wonder if perhaps you are the unreasonable one, if maybe you were too harsh, too reactive, but deep inside there lingers an unsettling feeling, a knowing that their words and their actions do not align. The wise woman does not wrestle with a manipulator. She does not attempt to convince them of their wrongdoing, for they are not interested in truth. She simply withdraws her energy, her time, and her presence. She sees the pattern, the cycles of guilt and persuasion, and she steps away without announcement. A manipulator cannot manipulate what is no longer accessible. A puppet cannot be controlled when it severs the strings. There is no need for a dramatic confrontation, no need to expose their tactics or make them see the error of their ways. They already know what they are doing. The wise woman does not lower herself to a battle of words with someone who never intended to fight fair. She simply removes herself, leaving them to manipulate an empty space where she used to be, and in her silence she finds her peace. An energy drainer is a silent thief, not of possessions but of strength. They do not come with demands that are obvious or requests that can be outright refused. Instead, they slowly pull from you bit by bit until you are left weary, depleted, and questioning why you always feel so drained in their presence. They speak in long-winded complaints, their problems endless and their burdens forever growing, but never do they seek solutions. Their struggles become your responsibility, their emotions yours to carry. No matter how much you pour into them, they remain empty, always needing more. You will notice that an energy drainer is never satisfied. If you listen for an hour, they will ask for 2. If you offer advice, they will dismiss it, but still return with the same problems. If you try to set boundaries, they will act hurt, accusing you of being distant or uncaring. They do not seek balance in relationships. They seek a host to feed upon. Their presence is a weight upon your soul, yet they cloak it under the guise of friendship, family, or loyalty. They convince you that to step away is selfish, when, in truth, staying is self-destruction. Their conversations are never uplifting. They do not celebrate your victories, for their only focus is their own misfortunes. They do not pour into you, encourage you, or offer support in return. Their energy is one of lack, of need, of constant wanting. You will notice that after an encounter with them you feel as though something has been taken from you, as if an invisible force has drained your enthusiasm, your motivation, even your joy. Yet they walk away lighter, having unloaded their burdens upon you. A wise woman recognizes the difference between helping and being used. She understands that there is a difference between compassion and self-sacrifice. She does not allow guilt to chain her to those who only take. She sees that true relationships must be reciprocal, that a healthy connection leaves both people nourished, not one starved while the other is full. She does not allow herself to be reduced to an emotional dumping ground, a place where others come to leave their problems without offering anything in return. The wise woman does not explain her departure. She does not argue, does not try to make them see how draining they are, because they will not see. Instead, she simply reclaims her energy. She steps away, prioritizing her peace, understanding that her strength is too valuable to be constantly given to those who only deplete it, and in doing so she discovers something profound. The moment she stops allowing herself to be drained, she begins to overflow. There is no shame in protecting one's energy. It is not selfish to step away from those who refuse to give back. A wise woman knows that she was not created to be an endless well for others to drink from while she herself runs dry. She walks away in silence, leaving behind those who only took, and she finds herself restored, whole and free. The silent competitor is a master of disguise. She does not openly declare herself as an enemy, nor does she voice her jealousy aloud. Instead, she moves quietly, her envy masked beneath a smile, her rivalry concealed behind kind words. She watches you, not to celebrate your progress, but to measure herself against it. When you achieve something, she does not rejoice, she calculates. She wonders why it was you and not her. She does not cheer for your victories, but neither does she oppose them openly. Rather, she waits, watching for an opportunity to pull ahead, to outshine, to prove, even if only to herself, that she is better. This type of person often disguises herself as a friend, sometimes even a close one. She may listen intently to your dreams, your struggles, and your aspirations, not because she wishes to uplift you, but because she wishes to gather information. She studies your strengths, your weaknesses, the path you are walking, so she can run ahead or subtly block your way. Her support is an illusion. Her encouragement comes with hidden. She may congratulate you with her words, but deep inside she resents every step forward you take. You will notice the silent competitor by the small, cutting remarks disguised as jokes. "Oh, you got that promotion? I never thought they'd pick you," or "You're starting a business? That's so brave. I could never risk failure like that." These words slip from her tongue smoothly, seemingly innocent, yet they leave behind a sting, a shadow of doubt. She does not openly sabotage you, but she plants seeds, seeds of discouragement, of hesitation, of uncertainty. If you are not careful, you will find yourself second-guessing your own success, wondering if you are truly as capable as you believed. She may subtly undermine your efforts, offering advice that leads you astray, pretending to support you while secretly hoping you fail. She may withhold helpful information, not warn you of obstacles ahead, or even align herself with those who oppose you. The silent competitor operates in shadows, careful never to reveal the depths of her envy. She does not wish to be exposed, for exposure would shatter the illusion of friendship she has so carefully crafted. A wise woman discerns the difference between a true friend and a hidden rival. She listens to words, but she also watches actions. Does this person genuinely celebrate her success, or does she seem uneasy when she rises? Does she offer support when needed, or does she remain silent, present only when there is gossip or failure to discuss? A wise woman does not ignore the uneasy feeling in her spirit. She trusts her discernment and knows when a presence in her life is more of a burden than a blessing. She does not fight the silent competitor. She simply removes herself. She does not argue, does not expose, does not waste her breath proving anything. Instead, she continues on her journey, unmoved, undistracted. She understands that her success does not diminish another's, and she does not lower herself to the level of comparison. The wise woman moves in silence, just as the competitor does. But her silence is not fueled by envy, it is fueled by wisdom. When she walks away from the silent competitor, she finds something remarkable. Her energy is lighter, her confidence stronger, and her path clearer. No longer weighed down by hidden rivalry, she moves freely, surrounded only by those who genuinely want to see her win. And in that freedom she flourishes like never before. The chaos-bringer moves through life like a storm, leaving destruction in her wake. She thrives in disorder, drawing energy from conflict and pulling those around her into a whirlwind of drama, negativity, and strife. Her presence is never peaceful. It is marked by turmoil, gossip, and unnecessary battles. She cannot function in an atmosphere of calm, for stillness unsettles her. Instead, she seeks out disruption, either by creating it herself or by latching onto it wherever she finds it. A wise woman recognizes this pattern and understands that peace can never be found in the company of such a person. At first, the chaos-bringer may appear exciting. She has stories to tell, tales of betrayal, of scandal, of endless disputes with friends, family, and even strangers. She may draw you in with her intensity, making you feel important by sharing her secrets. But soon you realize that her life is a revolving door of conflicts, and it is only a matter of time before you become a character in one of her dramas. Today she complains about someone else. Tomorrow she complains about you. Today she tells you a secret. Tomorrow she tells someone else yours. The chaos-bringer does not simply experience trouble, she invites it. She cannot resist stirring the pot, pitting people against each other and adding fuel to any fire she encounters. If a small misunderstanding arises, she amplifies it. If harmony exists, she disrupts it. She does not mediate or seek resolution. She escalates and divides. You may find yourself defending words you never spoke, fixing problems you never caused, or being blamed for conflicts you were never a part of. The longer you stay connected to her, the more you realize that peace and stability are impossible in her presence. She disguises her chaotic nature under the mask of being real or unfiltered. She claims to be brutally honest, but her honesty is a weapon. She says she is simply passionate, but her passion always breeds destruction. She thrives on emotional highs and lows, never resting in contentment. If life is going smoothly, she will create a problem just to feel alive. If there is no conflict, she will manufacture one. If people are getting along, she will sow discord. And if you attempt to detach yourself, she will pull you back with more drama, tears, or guilt. The chaos-bringer is emotionally draining. She takes up space in your mind, demanding your attention, your energy, and your peace. You may find yourself replaying conversations, overanalyzing situations, or feeling emotionally exhausted after every interaction with her. She burdens you with problems that are not yours to solve, expecting you to pick sides, carry her anger, or fight her battles. Even when you distance yourself, she finds ways to drag you back into her turmoil through messages, rumors, or sudden emergencies that demand your attention. A wise woman learns that peace is her most valuable possession, and she will not sacrifice it for the sake of loyalty to someone who thrives in dysfunction. She understands that being available to constant chaos does not make her a good friend. It makes her a captive. She recognizes that some people do not want solutions, they only want spectators, and she refuses to be one. Instead of arguing, explaining, or trying to fix the chaos-bringer, she chooses to walk away in silence. Cutting ties with the chaos-bringer does not mean she wishes her harm. It means she wishes herself peace. It means choosing a life free from unnecessary stress, free from battles that are not hers to fight, and free from the emotional weight of someone else's endless turmoil. The wise woman knows that real friendship should feel safe, not exhausting. It should build up, not tear down. It should bring joy, not stress, and when a relationship consistently brings more harm than good, she has the wisdom to let it go. When she walks away, the difference is immediate. The air feels lighter, her thoughts are clearer, and her spirit is at rest. She no longer checks her phone, bracing for another complaint, another problem, another demand for attention. Instead, she embraces stillness, focusing on her own growth, her own joy, and her own well-being. She realizes that life is too short to be spent in unnecessary battles, and her energy is too precious to be wasted on constant conflict. And as she flourishes in her new-found peace, she watches from a distance as the chaos-bringer moves on, finding new drama, new conflicts, and new people to entangle in her storm. The wise woman does not look back, does not regret, does not second-guess. She simply moves forward, grateful for the quiet, embracing the calm, and protecting her peace with unwavering resolve. The disrespectful one operates in subtlety at first, a passing remark here, an undermining gesture there. She may not insult outright, yet her tone carries a sting, her words diminish rather than uplift, and her actions reveal a disregard for your presence. She does not see your time as valuable, nor does she honor your boundaries. What matters to you, she dismisses. What hurts you, she ignores. A wise woman perceives this early, and understands that those who fail to respect her will only continue to take advantage of her kindness. At first you may brush off the disrespect as a misunderstanding. You tell yourself that she did not mean it, that perhaps you are being too sensitive. But the pattern repeats itself. She interrupts when you speak, she rolls her eyes when you express your thoughts, she belittles your concerns and makes light of your achievements. She speaks over you in conversations, as if your voice holds no weight. She minimizes your struggles and laughs at your convictions. The more you excuse it, the more emboldened she becomes. The disrespectful one does not honor your presence because, in her mind, you are replaceable. She takes without gratitude, assuming that your generosity, your patience, and your willingness to listen are things she is entitled to. She makes no effort to reciprocate, for she does not value the depth of what you bring. Your kindness is met with indifference, your time is taken for granted, and your wisdom is disregarded as unnecessary. She may only acknowledge your worth when you withdraw it, but by then the damage is done. Her disrespect is not always loud. Sometimes it is the silence that speaks volumes. She forgets important things about you, though you remember every detail of her life. She cancels plans at the last minute without apology, though you rearrange your schedule for her. She shows up late without explanation, though you have always been punctual. She forgets your victories, but she expects you to celebrate hers. She listens to respond rather than to understand, and when you speak, you feel unheard, unseen, unimportant. A woman of wisdom does not plead for respect. She does not beg another to value her presence, nor does she lower herself to demand what should be given freely. She does not argue with the disrespectful one, for she knows that people treat others according to the condition of their own hearts. Instead of seeking validation where it is not offered, she quietly removes herself. She understands that respect is not something to be fought for. It is something that should be instinctively given to those who walk in dignity. The disrespectful one is often shocked when you leave. She has grown accustomed to your patience, believing that you would always endure her disregard. She assumed that your kindness was weakness, that your willingness to listen meant that you would tolerate anything. But when you walk away without explanation, without anger, without bitterness, she realizes too late that she has lost something valuable. Cutting off the disrespectful one does not require conflict, it requires clarity. Clarity that you were never meant to waste your energy proving your worth to someone who refuses to see it. Clarity that you were not created to be ignored, diminished, or taken for granted. Clarity that you do not need to stay in spaces where you are only tolerated, not cherished. There will be those who say you have changed, that you have become distant, that you think too highly of yourself. Let them speak. For it is not pride to walk away from those who belittle you. It is self-respect. It is not arrogance to refuse to be disrespected. It is wisdom. And it is not selfish to protect your peace. It is necessary. When you remove yourself from the disrespectful one, you do not lose anything, you gain everything. You gain time to invest in those who cherish you. You gain energy to pour into what truly matters. You gain peace, knowing that you no longer have to shrink yourself to be tolerated. And in time, you realize that walking away was not a loss, but a great victory. The wise woman chooses her company carefully. She does not linger where she is not valued. She does not chase friendships that require her to diminish herself. She does not seek to convince anyone of her worth, for she knows that those who truly see her, those who truly love her, will honor her presence without being asked. And so, without a word, she steps away. She does not beg, she does not plead, she does not explain. She simply lets them feel the weight of her absence, and watches as everything changes. The one who refuses to grow is not always obvious at first. She may listen to wisdom, nod in agreement, and even appear eager to change. She may come to you with her troubles, seeking guidance, asking for advice, yet no matter how much you pour into her, she remains the same. The same problems resurface, the same excuses follow, the same patterns repeat. You invest time, energy, and patience, but your words fall upon barren ground, never taking root. She has no desire for transformation, only for temporary relief. She seeks comfort, not correction. She wants sympathy, not solutions. When you offer truth, she deflects. When you suggest a way forward, she resists. She is quick to complain, but slow to take action. She surrounds herself with wise counsel, but refuses to walk in wisdom. The years pass, but she remains where she has always been, not because she lacks the ability to change, but because she refuses to do the work required. There is a weight that comes with carrying the one who refuses to grow. At first you believe you can help her, that if you just say the right words, she will awaken to her potential. You pour out encouragement, you lend your strength, you hold her up when she stumbles. But soon you realize that you are doing all the work while she remains passive. You are pushing while she is standing still. You are climbing while she refuses to take a step. The wise woman recognizes the difference between helping and enabling. She understands that growth is a choice, not something that can be forced upon another. There comes a moment when she must step back, not out of coldness, but out of wisdom. She cannot drag another into progress. She cannot carry someone who refuses to move. She cannot waste her energy on someone who has made a home in stagnation. The one who refuses to grow will often resist those who challenge her comfort. She will avoid hard conversations. She will distance herself from those who hold her accountable. She will surround herself with those who enable her complacency, rather than those who push her toward excellence. She will resent those who outgrow her, because their progress is a reminder of her own unwillingness to change. She may even attempt to pull others down with her. She will discourage ambition, mock discipline, and scoff at the pursuit of something greater. She will criticize those who strive for better, calling them proud or unrealistic. Her words will be laced with bitterness, her tone dripping with resentment. She does not want to grow, and she does not want others to grow either. But the wise woman understands that she cannot allow another's stagnation to become her own limitation. She cannot dim her light to make others comfortable in the dark. She cannot slow her pace to accommodate those who refuse to move. She was not created to remain stuck. She was created to rise, to evolve, to step into her purpose without apology. Cutting off the one who refuses to grow is not an act of cruelty, but of necessity. It is choosing to protect one's own progress. It is recognizing that not everyone is willing to walk the path of discipline, sacrifice, and transformation. It is accepting that some will choose comfort over calling, excuses over effort, and stagnation over success. This decision is not always easy. The one who refuses to grow may have been a long-time friend, a trusted companion, or even family. You may grieve the loss, but you must not waver. Growth demands separation. To elevate, you must leave behind that which holds you down. To move forward, you must walk away from those who refuse to move. She will not understand your decision. She may accuse you of thinking too highly of yourself, of being selfish, of forgetting where you came from, but you must not be swayed. You do not owe your future to those who refuse to build their own. You do not owe your energy to those who drain it without replenishment. You do not owe your growth to those who refuse to grow beside you. A wise woman walks in purpose, and purpose requires discipline. She surrounds herself with those who challenge her, sharpen her, and push her toward excellence. She does not entertain those who remain in cycles of mediocrity. She does not waste her time on those who choose excuses over elevation. She does not sacrifice her destiny for the comfort of familiarity, and so she steps away. She does not argue, she does not explain, she does not seek validation. She simply moves forward, knowing that those who are truly meant to walk with her will grow alongside her. Those who are meant to be in her life will rise to meet her at the level of her progress, and those who refuse to grow will remain where they have always been, watching from a distance as she becomes everything she was meant to be. For she understands this truth: it is better to walk alone in purpose than to be surrounded by those who refuse to rise.